Hi, AT from CNC at Home. What I'm going to do today is take this basic box that I've created and make a dispenser out of it for coasters instead of just a box. To do that, I'm basically going to cut a slot in the two sides, or the front and the back in this case, and leave the front or the right and left alone, and get rid of the top because this will be an open container. By cutting these slots, somebody can reach down into the box easily and grab those tiles out. It'll all make sense when you see the final product, I'm sure. This was a suggestion from one of the viewers, so thank you for that. They had suggested cutting a U shape in here, and I thought that was a great idea. And thinking through it, I decided that creating more than just a U shape, but actually just cutting all the way through, so making the front and the back two separate pieces and leaving a big gap between them was going to be the way to go. The way I'm going to do that is essentially make a rectangle, place it over the top of these two pieces, and then subtract them from that. So it's relatively easy to do. And we'll get rid of the top in that process as well, and the bottom will just move down over here. And we'll have to do a little bit of editing on the bottom as well, so that there's not a notch for these notches, because they'll be gone. It'll all make sense. So let's go ahead and get started on what we need to do. First, let's get rid of the top, because we don't need that anymore. And then I'm going to make the top, or the bottom, and the bottom text, group those together so I can move those, and I'm going to align them down at the bottom here with that. Let's zoom in a little bit too so we can see what we're doing a little better. And since I'm going to be working with these mainly, let's get those zoomed in. There, we can see those pretty well. The text for here where it says front and back are going to kind of be in my way. So I'm going to go ahead and get both of those selected and move them up. I did that by holding down the Shift key when I was doing my selecting. Then these two pieces I'm going to group together, and the reason for grouping those is it'll let me do a merge or subtract at the same time. Now that I have those selected, let's go ahead and create a rectangle tool, and I'm just going to hover over this corner until I get my little bullseye. So it snaps to that corner, and I'll come over to here until it snaps. Let's change this to line so we can kind of see what's going on. All right, so we have our rectangle, and this is the area we want to cut away. And we also have our two side pieces. What we do next is we're going to basically subtract out this area. So to do that, we're going to select our front and back, and then by holding the Shift key, I'm going to select our new black rectangle. And then over here, I'm going to do a Boolean subtract. Easy peasy. Look at that. That was so easy. It made this nice gap. It gave us two extra pieces. We'll also see that these are still all grouped together. So I'm going to ungroup that and then just grab this top part and group those together. The reason for that is I want to move these, and it'll be a lot easier to move them if it's just the two pieces. I want them about here. So I'm going to press my Shift key and select this piece and say I want the bottom to line up with that. And then I'll grab these again and hit my Shift key, grab that, and I'm going to left align those. Not really that critical, but it makes a nice set of things. This is basically all we need to do. One thing that we do want to change though is our bottom, because these pieces are going to fit right in this area. This finger or this notch is no longer needed. So let's zoom in on that and take a look at how we clean that up quickly. So we first need to ungroup this. There we go. Now that it's ungrouped, I can select it, go to my node edit. There we go. That looks like what I wanted. And I just press the letter D on top of some of these pieces that I'm not going to need. I'll go ahead and get rid of this one as well. So we just go dunk, 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 dunk. Then I can take this and I can extend it. I just press the letter E while hovering over it. I'll hover over this line, press E, and that connects down here. It's a nice little detail, and it makes this project turn out really nicely. So the bottom now has this nice straight edge. One of these pieces will sit right in here. It'll connect this finger and it'll sit on top of here, so it'll be glued. And then another piece will sit down here, and then there's two on this side. Then this middle section will be open. Again, once this is all put together, it'll make a lot more sense. This is all we really need to do. The next step is to take it to the laser and get this cut out. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up. Let's head over to the laser and see how this cuts out. Once I have the material in place and the laser focused, I like using the feature within Lightburn called Frame. It shows me my maximum area that the laser is going to be cutting. I do this to make sure that I stay on the material. This looks good. Let's start the burn. This is always the scary part, is pulling this up and seeing if everything cut out. I did 3 full passes. I really only need to do 2 passes, but I did 3 just in case. So let's pull this up and see what happens. Oh, me likey. Talk about getting close to the edge. I was right on the edge on this one. But that's fine. No wasted material. I said this would make more sense once we got to see it. Let's throw some coasters in here. This particular box was from a design that would hold 5 coasters internally. Without a top on it, it will hold 6. There we have 6 coasters nicely in our dispenser. Depending on how big your hand is, you can grab 1, 2, 3, even 4 coasters at a time. Ooh, maybe 5? Yes, I can get 5 at a time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content of our channel, think about subscribing. It really helps us out. Enjoy doing your CNC at home projects.